Greetings, mathematicians. Let's take a look at today. Our tutorial is identifying fractions and improper fractions. Our learning objective is as follows. I will identify fractions and improper fractions using visual models. Read it one time with me. I will identify fractions and improper fractions using visual models. Excellent. So the two key terms in our objective, number one is fraction. Number two, the phrase here is improper fraction. And this phrase, visual model, this really means just a drawing of some sort. Today we are going to use rectangles that are cut up into pieces, and we will use circles that are cut into equal parts. All right, let's take a look at our vocabulary. And again, the vocabulary is coming right out of that objective. We have three vocabulary terms. We have fraction, improper fraction, and mixed number. Let's begin with the basic form, fraction. And a fraction is, and I'll move this over for a second. Fraction is part of a whole. So if we're talking about a part of a whole, here I have a whole piece of paper. I have it split into 4 even sections, well, even as I can make it without measuring. 4 even sections. And I could come in and I can shade or highlight. So if there's how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 parts. That means in my fraction, my denominator or bottom number will be 4. Now, this always tells me how many total pieces are there. Now, if I'm going to shade in, and hopefully we can see this using my highlighter, if I've shaded 1, 2, 3 of the pieces, I'm not shading in the whole thing. I'm shading in part. So count it with me. 1, 2, 3. So if we're talking 3 out of 4, our fraction would be 3/4. And the top number is called our numerator. Say it with me, numerator. This tells us how many we have. Our bottom number tells us what number we could have if we had the whole thing. The whole number here is our denominator. All right, so we've got our numerator and our denominator. I'm hoping most of you have seen this information before. Now, the key thing about a fraction is, it's the definition, it's part of a whole. It's not the whole thing. It's going to be smaller than 1. So this whole pink sheet of paper here, this is one whole item. And if all 4 were shaded, it would actually look like 4 out of 4 because it's the whole thing. All right, let's look at an improper fraction. And let's first zoom in on the prefix. Say it with me, im. Improper. Now here this is the prefix for not. So it's not proper. A fraction is part of a whole, not the whole thing. So an improper fraction is going to be bigger than that. And let's stick with the same denominator. Stick with 4. Now, if the whole thing is 4 pieces, let's get another strip of paper. So it's not a fraction. Let's cut this into equal parts. So if I have all 4, oh hey, let's go for another one. My Post-its aren't sticking. So we're looking for more than 4 here. So let's go with a number bigger than 4. Can you think of a number bigger than 4? I'm going to pick something easy. I'm going to pick 7. Say with me, 7/4. 7/4. So I have more than 1. So really when I have 7/4, I have 1 whole, 4 out of 4. Now count up with our numerator to get to 7. How many more is that? So let's count up. 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be 3 more. 3 more fourths. So let's look at a visual model showing that. So I would have 4/4 plus 3/4. So if I were going to shade this in, I would have all of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this would count as my 4/4. My next fraction would be 3/4. And I can shade in 1, 2, 3. So if I were to add these two up, I'd say I have 4/4 or 1 whole, and then I have 3/4. If I add all the parts together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I get 7/4. This is an improper fraction because the top number is bigger than the denominator. When the numerator is bigger than the denominator, it's improper. All right, and let's utilize the same improper fraction and visual model here to talk about a thing called a mixed number. Can you say with me, mixed number? Now, a mixed number typically has a whole number, so it is a whole number and a fraction. So if we're using the same model here and the same denominator of 4 for a whole number, remember, if you have 4 out of 4, we can say that it is also 1 whole. So 1 whole fraction bar is 4 pieces. So instead of 4/4 plus 3/4, I'm going to say 4/4 turns into 1. And then what is remaining? 1, 2, 3. 3/4. So my mixed number here is 1 and 3/4. So both our improper fraction and our mixed number are greater than 1. 1 whole. So it's going to be bigger than 1 whole. Fractions smaller than 1 whole. Improper and mixed number, those are greater than 1. Let's zoom out a moment. And let's undo it. And I'll show you the quick way to change these back and forth. So if I have 1 and 3/4, this is my mixed number. Let's write it as an improper fraction using this quick algorithm. If you multiply your denominator by your whole number and then add your numerator, you will end up with something cool, and we're going to go this direction. So we'll say 4 times 1, and then we will add 3. So what is 4 times 1? 4. We add 3, we get 7. Now, look back at our denominator, it's 4. Let's keep it. So 1 and 3/4 is the same as 7/4. 7/4 is what we started with. Now, let's see if I can draw this real quick. I'm going to blow your mind for a second. Kaboom. This is actually a division problem. That's all a fraction is a division problem. So remember, a division sign is a little bar with a dot over a dot. It's very much like a fraction. So let's zoom in here. So if I read this top down, if I say 7 divided by 4, 7 divided by 4, you'd probably want to put this into, do this long division style. So let's rewrite 7 divided by 4. 7's on the inside. Dividing by 4. How many 4's fit into 7? That's right, 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract, we get 3 left over. My remainder, I'm going to bring it up to the top. 3. That's what's left over. It's the part. It's the fraction. And the whole number is 4. So 7 divided by 4 is 1 3/4, which is our mixed number. So this is how they're related and interchange. It's a relationship between division and the total number of parts in each whole number. All right. Let's take a quick look at another sample. I've got a circle here. What fraction is showing? Let's count the parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my denominator is 4. What is shaded? 1. So I have 1/4. Let's try another one. There we go. Those are pretty even. What fraction is showing? Let's see. I haven't shaded anything in yet, but let's count pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 total. So my denominator is going to be 6. And let's shade in. What amount is shaded? 1, 2, 3. 3 over 6. It's also half of the whole item. We could reduce this down to 1/2. And if you're curious on how we go from 3/6 to 1/2, basically 3 is divisible by itself. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And then if we divide 6 also by 3, if we can do that, we can end up with 2. But for right now, let's focus on this is 3/6 or 1/2 of the sheet. And one more. Now each one of these is a whole. So I have 1, 2, 1, 2. So if I'm shading, so for 1, let's see, this is over 2. How many are shaded? 2 over 2. How many are shaded? 1 over 2. Let's put them together. Let's add them up. What do we get? The denominator stays the same. Look at the numerators. 2 plus 1 is 3 over 2. It's also saying we have 1 whole and 1/2. 1 and 1/2. All right, mathematicians, I've got 12 problems loaded for you in Prodigy today. If you need to, go back and rewatch this video, take notes, and I'll see you on the Zoom on Wednesday. Have a great day.